I am one of three hosts, Zion, also known as Sister Soto, which you probably already know because you're watching from Instagram. And to my left.
What's good? This is your boy Alfie D, and the place to be is Streets Talk Podcast Network.
Of course, you got your guy, the Dr. Barber. How you like me now? Come on. It's time for Sunday dinner. Let's make it happen.
Leave it to Quab. Always. I don't want to do that. So happy Sunday, everybody. Just talking to Alfie D and Quab about this upcoming next Sunday, which is Juneteenth, and also Father's Day.
Right.
Also, happy Pride Month. Also, happy Black Music Month.
Mm-hmm.
The month of June is, Black Music Month.
That's why we supporting Black business.
That's right.
Absolutely. So we got the wine here from KT Winery, which is a Black woman-owned winery, based in Washington, D.C. She was on our show a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to Kristen Taylor and KT Winery. This bottle right here is called The Gentleman, and from what I understand, it's for whiskey drinkers.
I like Mom Juice. She has one called Mom Juice. I like that one.
And this one is in collaboration with the Black Men's Warehouse. Basically a Black men's designer suit design. They do pretty much everything. Content. They brought the flash mob here in Baltimore. They are based out of Houston, Texas. So we said, we're not getting nothing for doing all this, but it's supporting Black business, and that's what we got to do. We got to support our own. So if we don't support our own, who's going to support us?
Yo, we got the young king in the house, man. He's a 16-year-old barber, Kadir Bohannon. I don't know whose son he is. He's somebody's son up there, right? Extraordinary.
I don't think he mine. I don't think so.
What is the colorism? That could be your son. It's not your son. It could be your son. What is the colorism?
That new shit.
They're in the building. Young king, as he said. We're here just to give an extra perspective, extra perspective.
Right, extra perspective.
Coming from a youngster like myself.
The young old soul.
I like your confidence. I do. I appreciate that. And he's a breath of fresh air. You can't really feel the energy. Well, maybe you can. Maybe you can feel the vibe.
Matter of fact, our very first studio audience, our very first,
not on yours.
Yeah, our very first young man. So that's what's up.
So what I wanted to know, y'all, for one, do you have any specific requests for Father's Day for your children or
the big piece of chicken?
You don't even eat chicken.
Or the big piece of celery.
They don't even eat chicken.
But the big piece of chicken goes to the father on Father's Day, okay? And said some other stuff that I wanted, and we're going to see about that. So Father's Day should come and go as a blessed holiday, holy day, the only holy day on the calendar.
What?
Yeah.
The only holy day on the calendar?
Well, except for your birthday. That's not holy. No, it's not. No, it's not.
I thought that was the whole point of Christmas. Jesus.
Father's Day is a holy day.
That's the only holy
Well,
day.
we don't get
It's actually the only holy day. It's not made up. Christmas is made up.
That is true.
All of the holidays are made up.
And that's why Father's Day is the only holy
You
day.
know what's not made up? Your birthday.
It's not made up. Your birthday is not made up.
Right. I feel like birth is the single most important event in a person's life.
Yes.
It's the work that I do.
You have some people that just love to celebrate people's birthdays. Like they would love, like, what you doing for your birthday? They call you, ask what you doing for your birthday. Man, I ain't doing. I'm chilling. Why you ain't doing it for your birthday? Come on, let's go out. Like, man, this is my birthday. It's not your birthday. Yeah, so
birthdays are the 3 days that you have a great excuse to get away with whatever it is that you want to get away with. The day before, the day of is prime. You want to get into the club? You want to cheat on something? are not a person.
It's a good excuse for anything.
It's a great excuse.
Get y'all a
for
ticket.
everything, right? You get pulled over. It's
Get
my
you laid.
birthday.
Okay.
But it's today.
Okay.
Okay, because if it was yesterday, it's like,
Get you free
if
drinks.
it's tomorrow, it's like, ooh.
Yeah,
But
you
if
should
it's
have hollered.
today,
Yeah, you should have hollered at me on your birthday. That's
Do
what
you
they're gonna
really
tell you.
think that that's gonna matter if you get pulled over
I think
for a
so.
ticket? You really
No.
think that?
Sympathy a little
No.
bit. No.
And the reason that I'm asking that is because typically police don't give a fuck about your black life already. So you think they care about your birthday? They trying to, take you
Somebody
out.
might be had sympathy.
I mean,
Yeah.
some of them might, but here's my thing. Overall, they don't really care about your life, period. So
I think they would care about your life if the money came from the police fund that funds the police. So if the money was coming for their pension, if the money we just gave, and I said we just gave to Young Moose came from the police pension, then I believe that Black lives would matter.
absolutely.
But since it comes from us as citizens, then I'm saying is Black lives still
Okay,
gonna
so
matter?
can we get into that a little bit
So-
though?
so-
Because
All right, so you know they have a slush fund. They have a fund for anytime for lawsuits.
Mhm.
All of this money is put to the side for lawsuits, for whatever. So a lot of that money, people don't really know that, but they do have a cap. And a lot of times, like with the Freddie Gray one, that was like the first time you ever seen that they sold me, that they settled for that kind of money, because it's normally like a cap, they like say like 50,000, whatever the cap is, but it was a low number because that's what they was paying everyone. But they have a slush, like the same way they have if someone in your family get hurt on the streets. Lord forbid somebody get killed or something like that.
Right.
The attorney's office is supposed to have a fund that's supposed to pay for your funerals.
Mhm.
So and if you get shot up, you have to apply for, but they don't tell you that because they make it hard for you. Anything that's supposed to be given to you, it's the hardest to get.
It's hard. They
well,
make you
my
work
thing
for it.
is, and I agree with you, Quad. I personally feel like police departments, so individual departments, need to pay insurance premiums for wrongful death incidents or instances of brutality. Something that the officers are actually like, they're getting the same way when you contribute to your FSA, or the same way you contribute to part of your health insurance contribution, right? That comes directly out of your paycheck, or some type of fund from the department. I think that type of accountability, like if their insurance policies, because now insurance companies are overseeing it, and insurance companies, their job is to find reasons to not pay claims, right? Their job is to find reasons to not extend you coverage.
Yeah, they're in the business of saying no.
So with that said, I think that offers a greater accountability when it comes to these wrongful death cases and all of that, because it's not coming out of taxpayers' money, right? We're not paying for our own brutality.
No, we're not.
We're not paying for our own abuse, because in reality, it's kind of like I slap you, right? And you see, but the money is coming out of your account. So what incentive do I have to change my behavior? I feel like when people have to pay for things, when they have to pay for anything, it offers a greater value. You know what I mean? And it might actually offer them some get right, in addition to me feeling like if we're not going to abolish law enforcement the way that we know it now. So I'm not saying that we don't need some type of law enforcement, right? But I'm saying fuck the police. I'm also saying we could abolish them and probably experience the same amount of protecting and serving that we actually don't really experience anyway. But I feel like if that's not going to happen, then maybe we need to consider it being mandatory that officers live in the communities that they patrol.
Well, that's how it started out is. They still get funding, for special breaks and things like that for living in your community, on housing and things like that. So that's how it always was. But now you got people living in Pennsylvania that never been around black folks like that, or never really interact with many people in the city and don't know how to get along with certain people, and they're not living in the city and they come here.
But here's my thing. I've known some officers who, they lived in the city, but what I'm saying is you need to live in the direct neighborhood that you patrol. You know what I'm saying?
And they have funding
at
for it.
least start it, right? Because you don't necessarily have to stay there through the duration of your career. But I feel like officers living in their community, in my opinion, it actually restores community because you're a neighbor. Because a lot of times with these officers, I don't believe that they all have malicious intent. But what I do find, even though I feel like the police department as a whole is a racist organization, and you can do the history yourself on, why they implemented the police department. I'm not getting into that today. But the reason that I feel that way is because with some of it, it's like this. Okay, you from the village, right? And I have experience in the village, but I never lived in the village, right? And I didn't really spend a whole lot of time in the village. I might have spent time on the outskirts and all of that, but when you live in a neighborhood, you know the dynamic of that neighborhood because you know or you're familiar with your neighbors,
know the dynamic,
right? So you already know that the man that lives a couple of blocks up the street from you, even though he come karate kicking down the street, you know that he might be off of his medication and his sister is at work. So nobody's really they don't really feel threatened by him. Or if you see brothers slapboxing in the street, you don't think that it's actually like a real fight because you know that that's how they play or how they are releasing some of their aggression, but it's not a big thing. I think a lot of times these officers, because they are from other places and they're not familiar, they don't have their finger on the pulse, sometimes things get escalated because you're fearful, and a fearful person will kill you.
Yeah, and I don't really necessarily, let's play devil's advocate on one part, because let's just say if you was a maintenance man and you lived on property at 5 o'clock, you don't want nobody knocking on your door at 8 o'clock telling you such and such is going on, but even though that you're an officer, sometimes that you're really off when you never mean you're never really off. But if you're living in a community, everybody, you're kind of a target. But it's in another sense is not saying like a target, like something gonna happen to you, but it's like you're a congressman or like you're a councilman, mayor living in that community because you're always available. That's how they look at you. But in another sense is you have to get out your car. And when I was coming up, I can be sitting on the corner. And me and my buddies could be 5, 6 of us out there chilling, and the police would ride right by us because they knew we was the dudes that sitting out there because they got out the car, they talked to certain people in the neighborhood. They talked to our grandparents or any people because they knew people in the neighborhood, because that's a part about policing is basically like community. It's supposed to be like a community person. And they're basically it's supposed to be really what is cutting small crowd community people. But then it goes all the way above and beyond when they start getting all this kind of funding, whereas though now they got more stuff inside the police department than they do in the army, or just as not saying more than the army, but just as better equipment inside the police department as like they do the army. It's why did you need all of these tanks and things like that? For who is it for? Because in all actuality, if you're looking at this a person, we don't have tanks and not saying the black person, but this average Joe, we have guns, you might have some kind of maybe some little explosive thing, but we don't have nothing that's that threatening, whereas though you have to come in my community with a tank and batter and ram my door down or scare the people in the neighborhood. But now we're looking at the police I don't want y'all right here no more. And no one's even better to have this conversation with is Kadil, because you're a younger guy and you're seeing things differently than what we're seeing, because everything we can say is past our time. It's more so on y'all and how y'all see things inside the community.
Well, my childhood, I wasn't raised in a village.
Yeah.
I was raised in what would be called the suburbs, and throughout my childhood, my parents wanted investment, which also translated into raising me in the right way for what they done was right. So, when I go out with my friends, I'm wary of the police, but I'm not though, because in my head I live by a code. I live by a code, like Batman. Like Batman lives by a code. He doesn't kill. I live by a code, and that code is don't live your life in fear.
Yeah.
Don't live your life in fear. Don't be disrespectful though. Don't just go around disrespecting people just because you don't fear nobody. But don't live your life in fear, because living in your life in fear can make you do certain things that you may not want to do, or that's not really necessary at that time.
Yeah. Feel only last 20 seconds. It's just a feeling.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And whatever comes after that may be anxiety or, just the after effect of your heart racing. You may not like that,
If a police pulls up near you, do you feel any anxiety?
A little bit, because I know my status in society as a black boy, especially a black boy. Maybe I'm not a black man. I feel like with my age group, it's a little bit more fear from police. That because we're rumored to be the most havoc and we cause trouble, like for Towson. Like my mom was telling me the other day, we went up to Towson. She was like, they had that rule up in Towson that kids under 18 can't be up there at 7:30.
Yeah.
Because it's rumored that weed start the most trouble. So a police, if I'm walking down the street and I'm walking with my friends and we just talking and joshing, a police may pull up and be like, where y'all going or something, because he's nervous. And he don't want, his job is to serve and protect. So following that, he may question us on where we're going and everything. We may not like it and everything because we may feel like it's like when our parents question us. We don't like that neither,
Mm-hmm.
So treat it with respect, but also be conscious of who you talking to, where you at, who you with. Are you in the neighborhood where you recognize them? Are you near home? I feel like that's
Whenever policeman is in your presence or approach you, always talk to him intelligently. Don't fall back to a social status. Speak to him intelligently, and also I don't want to say don't offend, but don't attempt to belittle a officer, because when the officer steps on the scene, they're now in charge, which is one of the things I got a problem with. Okay, they're now in charge, so it would behoove a person to not insult or to insult their intelligence with nigga shit. Okay, and nigga shit is let me think. I don't know. Shit like that. And I'm only saying that for the respect you have to give respect to get respect. So I always channel respect to them. Hopefully I get it back.
Yeah.
And I'll always remember, hopefully this will only be 10 minutes. Like I can save it for 10 minutes. I can hold my tongue for 10 minutes.
So I want to interject. Because I understand where you're coming from, but I don't agree with the not coming, to come with them to basically with the respectability politics of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now my
It
thing
is politics.
Yeah, we seen that don't work.
It is, and I understand that, but we've also seen that no matter how non-threatening, that does not always save you, right? And I've had interaction with police, and I've had to talk to them sternly about their misconduct in the presence of children because of how they were handling children. And I jumped out my car on 4 officers years ago with my kids in the car over a situation that I watched them escalate with some kids on the corner of Erdman and Bel Air Road with a fight. This girl was getting stomped out, and the officers were across the street at CPS watching. The main one was a white cop, and the other police officers that were standing around were black, but they co-signing this cop, telling the kids, get the hell off this corner, go the fuck home, and this girl is clearly injured, right? So I'm checking in with the teenagers, but I'm also asking this officer, why aren't you assisting her? And he's asking me, what you want me to do, a full body exam? And I said, aren't you trained? Aren't you trained to assess injury? And if it's something that's beyond what your job calls for, aren't you also trained to contact the appropriate personnel?
Exactly.
Right? So I'm asking him that, and I'm talking to him this way, and I don't really talk loud until, you know what I mean, until, like, because I will get piped up. And it's a whole neighborhood full of people. What I will say about it is we ended up having a conversation, right? He was also convicted by me talking to him while everybody else was standing around. And what that showed the children is, I'm not just going to allow you to do this, but that also, because he's like, they're a waste of taxpayers' money. And I was like, I'm a taxpayer officer, and you're wasting my money. I watched you, and I pointed to the rest of them. I said, I watched all of y'all. Because I was at the light when I saw the fight happening. I was like, I watched all of you watch this entire fight play out, and you did not move. You did not intervene, right? And so then they start talking about the children and how they, a few weeks ago, assaulted an elder on her way to church.
And he knows that personally.
And my thing was, are you identifying any of those children in this crowd right now? Because if that's the case, then what you're telling me, you're arguing a moot point. Right, what I'm telling you is these could easily be my children. And while I'm standing here, they are mine. And while I'm standing here, I'm letting you know that I am a taxpayer and you work for the community.
Right.
You're supposed to. And you're not doing that. And he's like, what do you expect me to talk about? I said, I expect you to be the example.
You got a lot of questions.
But he's because he wanted to really right? And I'm like, yo, and not only are you the adult, but you're the authority. You are a community service worker that we pay. I'm like, it just so happens that I'm out here at a time when I'm out of school. But what if I wasn't? I would not expect for somebody to watch my get stomped out.
Exactly.
And then you telling the kids, oh, get the fuck out of here. I was like, you want respect? And I don't feel like respect is earned, right? I feel like respect is a basic human thing. Disrespect, respect is yours to lose, right? Everybody starts out with a reason to not respect you, right? But you're gonna earn my disrespect,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And I explained that to him too. I'm like, you want respect? You want them to listen to you? How about not talking at them and you talk to them? How about you teach them? How about you do that? And he's like, they don't listen. And I was like, yo, I want y'all to go home. And the crowd started moving. And the kids start walking. And I was like, and this is what they want y'all to do. Don't be out here fighting with each other.
Right.
And they started moving. So when reality clicked in, because I was parked wrong, illegal, and all of that, I'm like, get out of here. So I get in the car, my kids was like, oh God, Sister Soldier. And then when I went, because I was going to the nail salon, signed in, came back outside, and the officer came over to talk to me. But even in him trying to like talk to me, when he approached me, he got this close. And I was like, you're going to have to back up. And so then he backed up. And so we had a conversation. And I took his badge and all of that. All that to say, there is a way to make them accountable in some instances without disrespecting them, right? I can tell you that you're wrong. I'm not calling you names, right? Because I think a lot of times, some of us, we get passionate about it and we see it if you want to say something. And you probably should, because it's more of us than it is of them. And they need to know, like, this is our community too. You know, this is our community, and you're not just going to come in here and do what you want. But there is a way to have common discourse with them and to let them know that you're displeased, and you're not allowed to do that, and you're stepping outside of the law, and you're actually breaking the law, and you're being abusive with this. But I'm not trying to like humiliate you,
right?
Because you don't know what their emotional maturity levels are, right? And I don't envy the job that they do.
You don't know their maturity.
I don't envy the job that they do, but I'm also like, if you're tired, you chose this job. Right. Any job that you work at, you chose it. So you don't get to just abuse people because you're tired or because you're frustrated.
Facts. So, back to 5-0. Back to what you know, on the low.
But I will also say, as a young man, just living in this society, if you haven't already, you need to know what your rights are, right? When you're approached, so that you can have common discourse, right? So that you can have a conversation, and also so know if your rights are being violated. Because a lot of times the people in general that are gonna abuse their power,
If you want to stump them, you stump them with your rights.
Right? Now all you have to really do once you know this information is to ask them questions. Right?
Yep.
All you have to do is ask them questions that
do your
would
research.
Force them to regurgitate
Yes.
to incident.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But also, if you spitting what you already know, what you're entitled to, and what they're not supposed to be doing, you just ask them questions. You ain't even gotta be aggressive, but definitely be assertive and confident as you know.
So this is what we're going to start doing, and we're going to start talking about detainment, legal detainment. When can you be detained? When can like things like that? We're going to start putting out little information, and it's going to be no information. We're going to start putting out laws, certain laws on detainment and things like that. So that people that don't know certain things that you have rights to do, that you might don't think that you can say or cannot do. We're going to start trying to help these people along. So we know that now, know education a little bit more, and sitting there, you can tell you, hey, I can search your car, whatever. So we want to start people with certain little things they be able to do. Then, just want to help out people. Just got, more informational things that can be able to help us out little by little. Because a lot of times when I was coming up, first time I got pulled over, things like that, I didn't know. Can I search your car? Man, I ain't got nothing in my car. Search whatever. Man, I got stories. I got one particular story, and I ain't gonna go really too deep, but I remember it was like 2000 and I want to say maybe 2000, and my daughter probably like 2009, summer 2009, 4th of July. I'm on the grill. My buddy called me. He said, "Man, come get me." I said, "Oh man, I'll be right there to come get you." Tell my grandmother and all them, I'll be right back. I got barbecue sauce on. I got some white shorts on, and right like it was 4th of July. I'm chilling. I'm dirty and everything. You smell the grill. Goes down my grandmother's block, goes down the street, bangs a left on Woodridge. I see a police coming towards me. So he goes just like this. Bam. I see in my mirrors, he U-turn, follow me. Pulls me over on Cranston and Augusta. Okay. He comes to the car, "Sir, I seen that you didn't have your seatbelt on." I said, "Sir, that's a lie." Anybody that knows me, I've been in accidents, and everybody, I put my seatbelt in the back seat of the car. They talks about me regardless. I have a seatbelt on, "Sir, I got tinted windows. How can you see I don't have a seatbelt on? I smell weed, sir. It's 90, it's 100 degrees, damn near 100 degrees outside. I got my windows up. You riding by the same way I'm riding by. How do you smell weed inside the car?" "Sir, there's no weed inside the car." I said, "Man, sir, I'm out here cooking. I'm about to go pick my buddy up. We have to cook out, whatever. Can I search the car?" "No, you can't search the car." "What you search the car for?" Because what? You have to call some other people up here. You're not searching my vehicle. You know anybody with a gun? "No, I don't know nobody with a gun." "Why? If I had somebody with a gun, you gonna let me go for what?" "I don't have anything. Why did you search me?" Man, so he put me on the corner. He had me, set me down or whatever. Right, that's the time I'm detained. I don't know why, but set me on the ground, put cuffs on me. Make a long story a little longer, sets me down or whatever. People walking by, so now he's saying little things like, "Yeah, y'all know him. He out here buying drugs from y'all," like stuff like that. Like, come on now, sir. Like, doing like a jump. So now I'm getting it. I try, like you say, the respect part. I try to get in the respect part. Now you belittle me and all this kind of thing. Saying I'm out here copping drugs. Clearly, you can see I got barbecue sauce on me. I'm going to pick whatever. So bam, fast forward up. It comes up. He searched the car, looking at all the cars. Now they wait for the wagon. Can't find nothing. Story gonna come. I'm gonna bring it right back around in a second. But he's looking, can't find anything. Goes to the car. Buddy said they get the call. He said, "Man, let's go. There's nothing over here." He said, "Wait a minute." Goes back to the trunk. Goes to the trunk. The flashlight goes up in the car. Looks. This is what I found. And everything I'm saying is documented. They can pull my name up. What they can put up. He goes in there. Look. This is what I found. Pulls up like 3 pills. "Oh, motherfucker, you put the shit inside there, your dancers go, why the fuck you never had this before?" So I'm going off. I'm going off and everything. Why you never find that before? So all of a sudden now, they're all about to leave, you find this. Bang. Takes me down Central Bookers, whatever, I get arrested. I get let out my own recon. Goes to court. So at this particular time, I called over, what's that, 33rd, whatever, we get to do the investigation of the police officer. I told them that I got planted or whatever. They try to intimidate you so bad over the phone was weird. So they're like, "Oh, you got to come and take an Alpha David, and you sure the person did this?" Like, they trying to intimidate you. I said, "Man, I don't even want to come over there and do it." Fast forward a year later. Me and my daughter mother had an argument. She comes to my house. I call the police. Police comes to the house. "Hey, sir, my daughter mother comes down here. I had my daughter here. It's my day to have her or what have you. And she's coming there disturbing. My mother's right here, whatever. Got witnesses and everything. First person comes inside the house. Pulls me over. They sent him to another district. So he went to Western. He went from Southwestern District, Officer Tyler. He went to Southwestern District to Western District. Comes inside the house, see who I am. I said, Ma, that's the same guy that locked me up. I'm the one that called the police for my daughter mother. I said, she come down and disturb me. You know, I got locked up for assault that day. Because he remember who the fuck I was, so it was payback. 2009, you don't believe me? Go look it up. It was payback. So I'm sitting there, so you can do everything you can. So I start trying to learn the law a little bit. So when you start talking a little intelligent, when they have you in cuffs and things like that, like you know what they're talking about, now like it goes back to the belittle part. Oh, you're on the top. So what, you're a jailhouse lawyer, all these kind of things. But when you know it's all that stuff, they still won't lock you up. But when you go to court and you start saying little certain things and you know you represent yourself and you know the law or whatever, they look at you totally different now. Sometimes you could be a target, sometimes it could be worked out for the best of you, but you have to learn your law. Y'all have to learn your law. You have to get that you have to get the Declarations of Maryland. You have to learn. If you want to learn your law, get that Declarations of Maryland. That'll tell you everything.
Ain't nothing cool about being ignorant to the law.
Nothing.
Learn your law, learn your rights, know them, and then see how you make out the next time with your encounter with an authority that is not seeing things your way.
Because initially I was like, what would make them, even when you know your rights, what would make a police officer back up off of you? And the one thing that I just thought about was, because if you end up having to go to court and you're talking like this in front of a judge, there might be a chance that it's going to go in your favor, right? It's a possibility, but we got to also understand that the judges and often law enforcement are always together.
Oh yeah, and one other thing I forgot about this. This never happened to me a day in my life. I go to court, very first name they call, dismiss. Very first name. When I got pulled over and he said he smelled weed and all this kind of stuff, they took my car and everything, took it over, then impounded and everything. Searched and never found anything. Very first case when he banned, started whatever, they called my name, dismiss. I never had seen it, so they knew that it was. They already knew exactly what it was, and this was. And he could have been. I'm not like what he could have been one of those people out there, one of them marks. He could have been told from upstairs. I don't know what it was, but I know one thing: he picked me out of nowhere and just picked me, and it was crazy. But in fact, to me, this is the type of person I am. I'll give you respect, not really respect, but I'm gonna talk to you like how I want to be treated. So if you start to go left, you go right. If you start, I'm gonna give you the same kind of energy. It might not be what you want. I might not. But I'm gonna give you the same kind of energy. So a lot of times, if you pull me over here, how can I? What did I do? If I know definitely ain't nothing wrong, and you pulled me over, all right, he messing with me. So I know I gotta be on my P's and Q's. I'm not gonna come off as being an asshole or whatever right then and there. I'm gonna see what it is, all right, because the slightest little thing, if I come off and just argue or whatever, he can just say, oh yeah, he can say anything to get me out my vehicle and arrest me. So now they got all type of probable cause. But I'm a talk and to see what is going on, what he had, what is he pulled me over for? Oh, pulled you over, you made a turn back there. Oh, my bad, sir. My bad, I didn't know, whatever. Next time I do it, whatever, if you're gonna give me a ticket or something, whatever. But if you pull me over and say your tail light broke, and I know damn well I'm in a 2022 brand new car that's pulled off the lot with, now my tail light ain't broke. Now I know I gotta be on my, not really defensive, but I gotta be more of aware now, because nowadays they fishing, they on something, or they just looking for any little thing. So it's hard. There's a lot of things you learn as coming up, because we, as kids, we should do stupid stuff. Whereas though, go to around the playground, go around the bus stop, and go pull the little fire thing and wait for the police coming and fire department and run. That's right. Why they take those little fire department things out the neighborhoods. We would go around, get the phone booth up the village and call the police, and the police come here and run behind the shop and be laughing. So we, stuff like that was a joke. But now, you can't do that kind of shit no more. You can't mess with the police like that, because they always unaware, because they're not in the neighborhoods. They took the power programs out. That was one of the big things that they shouldn't have done, because, and I'm gonna be honest, a lot of kids that I know that was in them power programs that was active with that, and once them power programs left, they was out on the streets, and a lot of them still out on the streets, so some of them not even here. And that's the God honest truth, because the power programs kept them kids out of the neighborhoods. Recreations kept us out of the neighborhoods. I met a lot of my friends being in the recreation centers.
to
Yep.
Cecil Kirk Recreation
Oh, you went
Center.
to Cecil Kirk?
Yes.
Kirk in the
Yeah.
house.
I was at Rogno Heights Recreation Center. Mr. J, Miss Yvonne, you know?
Jay in the house.
Yeah, rest in
Miss
peace.
Yvonne, rest in peace.
Yeah, they said
Mr.
Mr. J was the man.
Salute.
He was a mean old dude, but he was cool as a motherfucker if you like
Probably
him.
wasn't mean.
It was just us.
Without shit. Right.
If you knew, oh man, I'm tired of your shit and all. But I tell you, my very first job was when, you know, what was that? The Commonwealth jobs?
Yeah.
I got the Commonwealth job. They
I
said,
ain't
yeah.
at Commonwealth in a
I was
long
14.
time.
Funny, oh man, I was 14. Get the Commonwealth job. They say you want to work it. I said, damn, Rod, no Heights, that's up the street from my grandma. It's 2 blocks. I goes up to get the job. Miss Yvonne seen me. Oh no, you ain't doing no cleaning. You a camp leader. I'm 14 years old. They put me in charge of 12-year-olds.
Wow.
Some of the kids I already knew in the neighborhood. So how you gonna put me in charge of these damn kids? I had a ball though, but that was my first job. First paycheck, I brought a beeper.
Yeah.
My mother took my beeper from me. It said, you're not no drug dealer. They gonna think you're a drug dealer. It's a different time then. She took my beep. I paid $104 down what was that? Beeper City. Discount City. Sitting in that motherfucker long ass line. I paid $104 for my beep. But my mother took my beep for like a week and gave it back though. And then my second check, you know what I brought?
What?
A fucking used I used a jean outfit.
Jean jumper,
I paid like about damn near $200. My mother said, hey, that's what you brought for school? You better use it again. I use that motherfucker every single day. I had a Russ used outfit.
Yo, Discount City was clutch.
Yeah.
They was clutch.
Yeah.
We would cut school to go down there.
Do y'all remember when Sky Pages came out?
Yeah.
So it was
yeah.
Yo, Sky Pages came out, and my boyfriend at the time, which was also my kid's father, he had a Sky Pager. Remember, you had to call the operator?
Yeah, the 1-800
So
number.
they could do your dictation.
Yep.
She's like, so you want me to say, bitch? I'm like, yes, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, they had to say back to you what you told them to say. Can you imagine calling a business and being like,
Yes.
I want you to type, bitch, don't come over here no fucking more. You know, and she's like, okay, so you'd like me to set, so let me read this back to you. I'm sending, bitch, don't come here no fucking more. Will that be all? Yes, thank you. I'm like,
Good deal. A Sky Pager was like the 3rd level of a pager. Okay, you got 1st level pages that just beep, just take numbers, and then our people learn
inbox
that you can send a message with numbers. Okay, so we would send a message with numbers like,
let's go to bed.
Me at 12.
Let's go to bed.
Let's go to bed.
Go to hell. You had to flip the beep upside down.
Flip the beep upside down to go to hell.
So you spell it out on the phone so the 8 look like a B. You know, so you use it like that.
Like if you were spelling it on a calculator.
Yeah, exactly. Same way.
So we had to do it, you know, the opposite way.
We had to do it that.
So when you turn it around.
It shows you what it's
Go to hell.
Let's go to bed was the best one because as soon as you meet somebody like, oh man, we're gonna put let's go to bed in there. They like, if she don't never beat you back, or you put that in there, she want 001 or 101 or whatever. Now you got 911 coming to your page. Your 911, if you don't call back at that second 911 page, oh man, that's your ass. I don't care who it is, your girl, your mother. You supposed to be in the house and you get that second 911 page.
That 911 page is serious.
911 was not a joke.
So we started sending unofficial messages. So the company said to itself, yo, we're going to give you more coverage, okay? Not just in your city, not just in your region, maybe the whole East Coast, maybe even the whole United States. We're going to widen your coverage and we're going to send a direct message. So you call you got a Sky Pager, call the 1-800 number, someone answers the phone, and then you leave your message.
No matter what time of the day.
This can go anywhere around the world. They widen your coverage, okay? So now, as Sister So Dope said, read my message back to me. Bitch, don't come over here no more. She has repeated to you.
In the show I watched called Stranger Things, right? They went on the house phone, right? And the operator called. And the operator showed like a little operator room with cell phones in front of them and everything. And so she had to tell the operator what to tell the other people they wanted to call.
That probably was.
What was that?
That probably was like one, like deaf. What do they call that? TT.
The relay?
Yeah,
Was it a
probably
relay?
the relay.
So what your dad is talking about, so relay is still a thing now. Relay is people who are hearing impaired. They call a call center, and the call center rep is reading what they're typing. And what they do is it's a conference call. So I may actually be able to hear impaired person, but they can't hear me because, and so the person who is doing the typing, they're typing what I'm saying to the person. Or the person that is hearing impaired is typing what they want to relate to me to the operator. And they're talking. What we're talking about is we have pagers that would have messages scrolled, right? So actual words coming across the screen that you had to call a middleman for. You had to call the call center and you had to tell the operator, the lady, the customer service rep, what you wanted to say to this person. And most of the time I was calling my nigga at that time. So yeah, she was, they were always reading my expletives
read it back to her was hilarious.
If you had
to read it back to her, bitch, don't come over here.
The funny thing is, it would not strike me as common until after I wasn't mad no more.
You're like, I can't believe I said that shit.
No, you really called her, be like, bitch. So the level of anger that you gotta have, number.
Tell the person what
you want to say. And I'm like, girl, so I put myself through DIY anger management. Then,
how it work out?
Years later, great, because now the people that have known me, like in all phases of my life, often are like, I'm proud of you. And like, I used to be nicknamed, so my friends call me Katie Kaboom.
Yeah.
Guess who stepped in the room, yo? That's gonna be the start being the intro music. Kaboom! That's gonna be the start the intro.
So, and I didn't want to be the loose cannon anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you just told us about the police officer and the kids, so we kind of figured that you probably like loose cannon. We just getting nervous over here a little bit because I was feeling you.
I wasn't loose with him, but I was. For one, I was angry. You know what I'm saying? And I want people to understand, because sometimes people think that anger is a low vibrational expression, right? There is a thing, in my opinion, that is righteous about anger. Yeah. Right? Some of the greatest movements in history have happened because motherfuckers got fed the fuck up and angry and decided to do something about it.
Emmett Till mother. But she started the whole movement, if you think about the whole black movement, it was Emmett Till mother that actually really started the whole movement.
Absolutely. And here's my thing. At first I used to reject the label of angry black woman, right? Because people say that and it has a negative connotation to it. But guess what? Black women, angry black women get shit the fuck done.
Y'all have every reason to be angry.
We get shit done. And my anger is justified. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really care about who's not comfortable with it. I'm not controlled by my emotions, though. You know what I'm saying? It's not about you not feeling your emotions. It's what you do with those feelings. You are not to be controlled by your emotions. Anything that can control you, it can own you. And even people. So when people say things like, he made me do, no, you made the decision to do or to respond in a certain way. And sometimes it takes for you to, experience some life, like I have, to recognize that about yourself. Also, I'm a big fan of walking in my autonomy. So I don't want anything or anybody to be able to have control over myself. It's also not safe. You know what I'm saying? To be irritated by every rub. You know what I'm saying? So I think that comes with just getting to know yourself. But yeah, I had to put myself through DIY anger management. Because I'm like, that's wild. That you were, I looked at it like, you had some time in between. You know what I'm saying? To kind of like calm down a little bit. And you still called this person. Who I know the girl sounded like she was bursting at the same time. I'm pretty sure when she got off the phone with me.
Let me
She
be
was
one of
just
my
like,
operators.
we got another one.
I'd have been like, yo, listen to this, yo, she over there talking about this man got a short pen. Yo, listen, I'd have been
You can't imagine some of the things that I have said. Like when I think about some of the things that I've said, it makes me blush.
But hold
And
up,
it's
you
hard
think
to
about
make
it?
me blush.
The thing about that is everything that we did, there's no record of it. So none of the stuff that you're saying never really actually happened. We have no record of the 90s, really.
Well,
We ain't no
wait a minute.
phone.
But you know what? Also, I'm not the person that I was. How often do ourselves renew?
Allegedly, that's what happened.
This was at least 25 years ago.
Allegedly, that's what we did the statute of limitations. But one thing they had, and a lot of people
3 times.
exactly, you still got more change. You ain't even 50 yet.
Right.
What's the beeper line? I don't know if anybody remember the beeper line.
We talked about that the other day.
The beeper line.
The beeper line.
The beeper line. I remember the party line. I don't remember
This
the
is
beeper
before
line.
the party line. So
Yeah, I know the party.
So
the beeper line.
all right, so this is what the beeper line was. It was Facebook, it was Instagram, all the stuff before it was now. So what we would do is, if you had a beeper, or somebody had a beeper, or somebody found out some numbers that was empty, because a lot of times you'll call certain numbers. Like I always remember those 410, those 315 numbers. They was always 8815. People gonna laugh when I say that shit because I still remember it. But they was always never had a passcode. So people would get on there, change the passcode, so they'd get on there like, hey, such and such, this is LPD from EV, and I'm such and such, and man, forget all y'all niggas over East Baltimore, down west, or whatever. Any girls out there want to holler, let me leave your numbers on the inside.
Beeper line?
Yeah, beeper line. So people doing that. So people leaving messages on the voicemail, and we checking voicemail. So shout out to such and such, shorties holler at me. She leave a phone number for you, and then you call up or whatever. But it was our social media. So from like 90, I would say like maybe like 91, 92, up until maybe like 95, 94, 95, that beeper line was jamming.
Okay.
Yo, my name was Lil EA. What else my name? Man, that shit was like, yo, that beeper line was what Facebook and Instagram stuff was right now. It been people used to meet up down Hammer Jacks for fights because they was on the beeper line beeping. It was like, Old York and Mercator.
One particular number.
It was different numbers. So say if me and you was beeping or whatever, and say if I found out your information or your passcode, I'm like, man, fuck, I'm gonna take this phone, let me turn this shit into a beeper line. So then they start passing out to everybody, start beeping the number to everybody.
I never heard.
So they'll beep a number with the phone number in there, and they'll put a passcode. So the passcode, everybody, oh shit, it's a new beeper line.
And leave messages.
If anybody out there remember about the beeper line,
wow.
holler at this inboxes or whatever, that beeper line.
I don't know.
They're like, hold up. I remember the voice sound familiar.
Inbox LPD because apparently he's the only one
I'm telling you,
that
a lot of people in Baltimore that was on there. So my homegirl, God bless her, did. This is the very first time when I first met K Swiss. No, so when I first met, this is a funny story.
K Swiss was on the chat line?
So we be on there, people used to be on there DJing and all this kind of shit. So one day, she called, we were probably like 15. So we call up there playing on the phone. So we used to do like little cuts and stuff on, like say like that, like we take different songs.
Okay.
And we take different cuts like, hey, my name is Alfie. We like take different songs and put it on there. So we'll start off our intro on the beeper line with different cuts.
Okay.
So we called our phone one day. So the niggas answered the phone like, yo, who the fuck is this? Like, who the fuck is this? Nigga, you calling up here like, nigga, fuck you. You're some county boys. So I'm like, yo, fuck y'all. Like, niggas like, yo, where y'all from? You like, we from the village. Nigga, my homeboys hang up in the village. Who your homeboys? Sean, Alfie. Right. It was G Money, my man, Sean's cousin. It was all over the beeper line. The dudes was trying to beef with us over the phone because of the beeper line talking about who y'all calling up here and whatever. But it was Sean cousin over there. Shout out to Jason. I ain't seen DJ G Money in like forever. DJ G Money. But that shit was so funny as shit because he over like telling other shit like, yeah, I know Alfie, I know Sean, I know He was just going down the line like, oh, who's this? They saying my name. He was like,
what's up? What's up?
Oh man, that shit was hilarious though. But stuff like that was fun because that was like we didn't have it, man. We had Instagram and stuff that we used to do downtown. Now Crazy John's. When Crazy John's used to be up there where 7-Eleven at up there where the first Crazy John's on Howard Street.
Crazy John's.
Yeah, when they had motherfucking Eldorado's up there.
Eldorado was up there.
Yeah, that's where it started at. Yeah, Kenny had it right up there. Eldorado's right here. The Picture Man was next door.
Picture Man was in the middle.
You had Sunny Surplus on the corner. Then you had the parking lot.
I remember Sunny Surplus.
Yep. You had the parking lot. Then you had Crazy John's on the corner. Then you had the shoe store. And then Eldorado was that little spot that sit right there on the
On the other side of the parking lot.
Yeah, on the outside the parking lot. But might have somebody standing outside or something. But it was like only at nighttime, like late night when it was out there.
Okay.
Yo, we should come back and do a podcast on growing up 91 to 90. Let's say 90,
95,
97, 98 downtown.
Do something for the Chicago Bull era.
Because that downtown, if y'all ever see the movie Boys in the Hood, for you know young folks that's out there that's tuning in or whatever, that's seeing how Crenshaw Boulevard was in the movie Boys in the Hood. Just think about that, maybe times 3 from Saratoga, from Utah Street and Marbury, down to the second crate, down to the police station.
Yeah.
That's
in
right.
a circle.
That's right.
In a circle. Non-stop traffic.
That's right.
They started to regulate traffic because of our generation. Spinning the block.
If you see the signs, then they still got some up on Utah Street say no standing, stopping, or cruising.
Right. No cruising.
But the signs that because of us.
Because you know what? The funny thing about it, I didn't club a lot as a teenager, but I do remember like cruising. Like in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like if I wasn't going to a club, it didn't matter. Because I could ride down Baltimore Street.
That was the club.
That was the club. The let out, oh my God. And not even the let out because it was so busy, especially when they put the second Crazy John's down there. Second Crazy John's, the circus was on the corner, Norma Jeans in the middle of the block, right? And all of those clubs were jumping. But for the most part, you just saw people out. People would get dressed to come down there.
You didn't have to go to the club.
People would get dressed just to come downtown and blast their music.
They weren't even from Baltimore.
Just cruise the street.
A lot of people weren't even from Baltimore. A lot of people was from the counties. You had people from
cruising.
What's that?
The death of cruising was gas prices. Yeah, I'm not riding over East Baltimore anymore.
But our gas
without a destination. Because of gas prices.
Well, looking back at it now, it wasn't as bad because I never knew what the 99.9 and all that shit used to be. I used to just put $3 in the gas tank, and I have a tank. This is still my grandmother's car all the time. I shouldn't be saying it, but this is still in $3. We could put half a tank inside of there.
I remember back in like '99, because my daughter was still a baby. I remember my homegirl, her son's grandmother let us hold her Corolla, and it was definitely like a 90 something, right? We put $10 in there, and it was over full.
Yeah,
$10.
That's when it started spitting back out you.
Your car probably going to move past the block on $10 right now.
Man, you can get 3 gallons for $10.
From where?
I'm sorry, that's 2 gallons.
Well, yeah.
$20, I get 4 gallons.
I can't, because I do 93, so I only get like I get almost $6 now for 93.
Yeah. It fuck a 10 up. It fuck a 20 up.
Yeah, so Baltimore Bike Works. Y'all need to hurry up with my bike, man. Y'all had my bike for 3 weeks, man. And my bike ain't fixed yet. I'm trying to get my brakes. I'm trying to park my car, man. I want to ride my bike. Can y'all please, Baltimore Bike Works, can y'all please fix my bike? Hurry up.
Get this man his
please.
Bike. Get this man his bike.
Baltimore has the dumbest bike lanes I've ever seen in my life.
And Shirley Dixon started with no, not Shirley Dixon, my bad. It was what's the one that just came home? No, the one that just came home. Yeah. She the one saw with those bikes. Yeah, she on like they had on 92Q.
What's up, Q? What's up, girl? What's up?
Track queen. They had on track queens.
From the barber shop. Holla at me. I'm on Instagram. I want to holler.
You might get indicted or something.
She's all right. Huh?
Yeah, I ain't say nothing.
They ain't no business putting that lady in jail.
She had no business.
She's too old.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video where she was out there selling the clothes and stuff? Did you see that?
She too old.
I saw the video. It looked terrible. Yeah, I'm still saying if you paid me if you paid me for you to write a book and me to get the money, it's a no-brainer. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, she ain't giving nobody no books. And they still did they find the books?
Her, we're gonna write you a book to raise money. I'm guessing every time.
Well,
I didn't sell no books to nobody. It's not my fault.
Well, that's not. Well, technically, the book was for allegedly they saying for robberies or for getting funds on certain for certain contracts and things like that. And that's what the and that's what
worked if somebody would have.
and that's why the whistleblower. And that's how the whistleblower came. That's what happened.
Do you find it odd though that every time this shit happens, with all the motherfucking money that they steal all the time, right? Because whatever happens, you didn't we pay some tax dollars for some type of machinery that they were supposed to like shovel the snow and have it go to like this thing that melts it down and all that other shit. Like me and my dad talked about this years ago. I'm gonna have to Google that. But our tax dollars have gone and been stolen for so many different things. Does anybody else find it odd that every time some shit comes up with some petty type theft, it's a black woman that's taking the fall?
Well, I think because really, if I'm in position, it is like you got to keep I'm not saying who be people, but you got to be clean, because this is even worse for us.
But I don't know necessarily, honestly, if I believe
nobody's clean.
Yeah, nobody's clean, but you got to know your little bit of nobody's really clean, but you got to know everything ain't good. What's good for the goose ain't good for the gander all the time when it comes to us.
I understand that, but I also feel like I find it strange. You know what I'm saying? Especially over these small amounts. And I'm not saying that it should be excused because it's not as big as you evading tax dollars and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but when you sit on boards of certain companies, and those certain companies are controlling the city, and those certain companies are controlling the city, and you're the mayor, and you act like you don't know about you're not saying that you're on these boards. That's a conflict of interest, and that's like a lot.
But how often does that happen?
It happens all the time.
Right.
But it's when you piss a person off. It's when you piss a person off, or whatever you do is when people start putting light to certain things. Because you could be at work stealing time from you can come to work every single day, don't punch in and none of that kind of shit. But you're gonna have that one coworker. Oh man, I tried to come in last week, and they told me they're gonna write my ass up. Look at her ass coming inside of here right now. And it's gonna be that one. It's gonna be that whistleblower. And that's always how it is. But when you start going out there and you want to be high and mighty, you want to do all of these things, you start poking the bear. Just remember that bear do bite back. And you're going to fight back. You have to, and the same thing, like, not he's saying, like, because I don't really, we got to have more, like, information, but, like, with Mosley, and I know, like, for a certain fact is, when you start doing those 401ks, ask you certain questions on there. And if you know certain things that they ask you, and that's as I say allegedly, because we don't know everything until you go to court, but you already know they saying this can come back at any time if we feel as though that you could be lying. Like they let you know in that paperwork when you sign that paperwork that you can come back and all this stuff, that you have to cross your T's and dot your I's. That's the only thing I'm saying about I would say about that, because your T's and dots, because everybody knows during the pandemic they had 401ks. Did basically probably the same thing. But if you're in a position of power and you're a lawyer, certain things you should know. You're not how. I mean, that's the mentality. They say attitude reflects leadership. That's the leadership that we have here in the city. That we're above everything, and not to say that everybody's wrong. Some people wrongs are better than worse than everybody else. But I just feel as though if you're in that position, you can't be a hypocrite. And that's my only thing about it, because you already know they coming for you. They coming for you, even though like this is a predominantly black city. 60% or more is black, but it's not ran by the blacks. So when they let us run the city, you better do what they say. If you don't do what they say, you go against whoever, the Teflon Leprechaun and them or whatever. You go against them. Hey, you see, I mean, you see what happened to Ed Norris.
Monkey see, monkey.
Yeah, exactly. And if anybody in the city that's in politics should know that they should have Ed Norris as the poster child, because they see then they chopped the radio station up. They did everything to him when you went against it. When you went up to Ehrlich, oh man, it was they opened the floodgates on this man. His whole life got turned upside down. So bless you. But this is the attitude of the city, and this is certain things that we got to start like exposing certain things in the city that rights or wrong that's need to be out there. I mean, let people know, because everybody don't know. Everybody don't get that information from the right places, the right sources. And sometimes you can't go this on the basic news. And the little girl, what's her name, Megan Frost or whatever, 45.
Yeah.
Man, she doing. I want to talk to her because she's got balls, bigger balls than a lot of people that's in the city that are scared to bring up certain things. But one thing about Fox 45, don't let me ever become famous and nigga. My shit gonna be sweet clean because they ain't letting up off of you. they ain't gonna find if you peed in your pants in fourth grade, they gonna bring that shit up on 45. They gonna find everything.
Call their asses out.
They need to bite their ass back.
Yeah,
I can't figure out how the school system ain't responded yet. And this nigga is tearing their ass up, and they are doing nothing.
You see what they're doing in the county?
What are they doing?
They asking for the dude to resign. The school board dude in the county. They want him to resign. Why we can't do that in the city?
I mean, we can. I mean, it's. And I can't even explain what's going on, but I know that North Avenue has to respond or do better.
Yo,
got this guy kicking their ass on TV.
Yo, I looked at the city council meeting the other day. I do that a lot. Like a lot of people, like I'll be talking shit, but I actually be doing my little research. So I watched it. You know, they talked about the police department and crime and things like that. Yeah, that's important, but the kids are more important right now because 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years down the way, they're gonna be the same ones that in the news talking about the crime.
Exactly.
So they did not talk about nothing about what's going on. They talking about criminal charges against North Avenue. All this, like, I'm gonna be honest. Like when I was in the 9th grade, I missed 124 days out of school because I was going to school late. You know I passed my 9th because I was going to school late, but I was still going to my classes. But I didn't want to go to like the detention and shit like that. So I'd never get on roll. So that's just letting you know that was back in '91 when I was in the 9th grade.
Same shit, man.
And the same shit is still going on right now. Then you look at a few years ago what happened down the old Hall of Park. What they call that school? That school when it first came out, but the little kids were never inside the school for a while, and they started what's the old Hall of Park? I forgot what they call that. I forgot whatever they call the school. No, it's not Hall of Park. It's stopped at Hall of Park for a few years now. Okay. But that's when the first case came out about the grade tampering and things like that. But come on now, our kids. This is really like
this is elementary.
Yeah. Well, it's middle, middle, high school, whatever.
Middle.
Yeah, because I know JB was coaching down there. James Ballantyne. Shout out to James Ballantyne. He was coaching up Emerson. Grew up with. I taught him everything you know about football.
Yeah. I know JB.
You know JB?
Yeah. I'm friends. She's my sister cousin.
You know the boy? No, guy JB. He was the teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, what was you said?
His cousin
okay, got you.
is my very good.
Oh, all right.
My very good sister cousin.
Yeah, that's my man, Shelly.
Yeah.
That's my own. Yeah, we went to school together.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shelly. That's my own girl.
Miss Parker.
Yeah, Miss Parker. What's going on? Be more Parker. Yeah. We all went to school together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he was coaching down there, and I forgot the name of the school, but that was one of the first places. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's gonna come back to me. But that was one of the first places that came up. And this is some real stuff that I found out. So you know how the way they fund the schools is, let's just say I'm just going to use easy numbers: $1,500 per student inside your school. 15,000 kids to 5,000 kids, they're going to pay that for your school. So that's why these schools start getting smaller and smaller because they're trying to save more money.
Right.
So if I'm getting $15,000 a kid, no matter if I got 15,000 kids inside my school or 1,500 kids in my school, I'm still gonna get the money. So then you start selling off these schools and being private entities to like John Hopkins and all these other places that's doing these charter schools, which I think a lot of it could be a good idea. It could be if it's done right. If you're going to put the right people in place to educate our kids, let it be us that's going to educate our kids. That's what I'm saying. But don't have a person don't have it. They got stakes in it because they're doing numbers, but have people like us, like how when Malcolm X and them started their own schools.
Right. Well, how you get $15,000 per child and these materials?
Exactly.
And the classroom.
Have you ever seen The Wire?
Yeah.
So you remember the episode? You remember the year when they had the kids on there when they started doing the schools?
Yeah.
And I might be wrong about the time, but I would say maybe about a year before that, the money, the year before that came out on The Wire. I think it was the second year, whatever. He talking to school, the money was missing, and then when the white guy he was the mayor, and he went to be a governor. They ended up finding all these computers in the basement inside there. So that came out a year later. Right. Remember when O'Malley went to be governor and they saw talk about $54 million was missing from Baltimore City schools? Yep. No, my bad, not 54, $53 million was missing from Baltimore City schools. They never could find. That was what? When did he go? O'Malley go to be mayor? That was like in mid 2000s or something. Governor. So it's the same thing. Like this has been going on for the longest time. Atlanta, what they do? They locked up damn near the whole fucking school board.
Wait, didn't O'Malley get Sade veteran wife pregnant?
Oh,
unofficially.
Didn't that
allegedly?
And we haven't heard from her since.
Well, she went up there in that car from Maryland. So happened to be on the Jersey Turnpike while she was out there interviewing with the twins. So
did they look like somebody?
All I'm going to say is I know he used to be on the train a lot going up New York back in like 2013.
How you know?
I'm just saying.
Somebody saw.
Yeah, somebody saw. He used to take the train. Allegedly, that's where he was going a lot. I don't know if he was going to see the twins or not.
On the train a lot.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Somebody said these things.
That's curious.
We don't know if any of this stuff is true.
Yeah, allegedly for the network's sake, but that's what I heard. He was taking that trip up north a whole lot.
We have no.
It's a lot of people I know that was taking the trip. Like
Sade was fine. She
was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like certain people was going to Delaware a lot. I remember certain people, people telling me they was going to Delaware. They said certain people from Baltimore going to Delaware a lot, and then
shouts out to Garvey City.
I'm just saying, certain people is like it's something you be seeing things on TV, and then you don't be knowing. And
shouts out to Wilmington, Delaware, Garvey City. Wilmington, you know that they erected the RBG flag up there.
I've been in Wilmington. I'm gonna say, shout out. I never knew Wilmington was hood until I was in Wilmington walking up. So I left. I walked up more. I think it's called Kings Boulevard, some shit like that. So I'm walking like Troy Hill over here. I'm chilling. I got my headphones. I'm going live and everything. I get to my peoples, and they like, which way did you take going up to the hotel? I said, I think it's Kings. I think it's whatever. You take Kings Boulevard, whatever. You walk straight on up there. One side is where you go is like downtown part. You got the barbershop. You can tell it's a little hood. They got black people, all that stuff over there. I'm chilling, walking up, and they're like, yo, you ain't nothing happened to you? I was like, no. I said, yo, that's hood. I said, I kind of figured because it looked like it was Charlie Hill. But it was boring as fuck up there. I couldn't find shit.
No,
I couldn't find nothing to do.
That goes on in Delaware. They just closed kind of
early.
You know what I mean? They shut down early.
Yeah, it was like a Wednesday and Thursday. I was up there for like 2 days. It was booked, but they got some good food, good seafood too. What's that down there by the water? It's right down there by the water. It's like down there, not too far from that train station that's up there.
I think I know what you're talking
they
about.
Got some, it's like their little miniature Lexington market. They do have some good food up there.
Yeah,
but it's boring, man. I'm sorry to anybody. I don't want to offend nobody in there. It
just shut down kind of early, but the one thing that I can appreciate about Wilmington is they have a lot of black-owned businesses.
Yeah.
It's like a brown town. Are you familiar with Jahidi? Jahidi brownfish?
No.
Are you familiar with Ooh?
No.
Well, Jahidi lives up in he's an artist.
Okay.
Lives up in Wilmington, Delaware. Wilmington is one of those places where you want to live in a black,
I thought about it.
A predominantly black city. That's the place to go. Almost everywhere that I've been. Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that was open carry.
So allegedly, I know a person that lives in Delaware.
That man is open carry.
And he's gonna be watching this, and he's gonna be cracking up. So he told me, he said, man, I live in Delaware now. Like, man, he talked to me the way like I live in Delaware. He said, yeah, I be walking around with my gun and everything.
Oh shit.
I said, you a felon. He said, man, I look like I'm Puerto Rican and half white. He said, man, they love me down here. It's an open carry state. He said, they don't be care. They don't say shit to me. I said, but I never knew. But he said, I blend right on in with everybody. He said, he blend right on in.
I never knew they were open carry.
Yep. Well, he said, Wilmington is not open, well, carry. I don't know about open carry, but I know you can carry inside there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know about open carry. You walk around with you. He said he be taking the shit in Walmart and everything like that. So,
okay.
So we gotta look that up. But but he did tell me that, and it's funny. I'm scratching my head. I'm like, okay, so what happened to fellas that you had?
Right.
But I didn't know. But Wilmington is cheap. I looked the movie down there in 2014.
Yeah.
Because it's nice and cheap. There's no taxes. And I bumped into at that time he was vice president. Well, he was retired. He wasn't vice president at the time, but I bumped into Biden down there.
Okay.
But we walked by. This sound like a lie, but it damn sure is the truth. We walked by me and my buddies. My buddy had a New York Yankee hat on. We sitting there. Somebody came by. He like, that's my favorite team. And my man like, man, I'm from New York or whatever. He kept on like, yo, that was Biden. And he just kept on. Yo, they named the stations down. They named the train station after them and everything. They love them down there.
I heard.
Yeah.
It's legal.
Yeah.
Open carry.
Open carry.
There is Delaware is a permissive open carry state.
Yeah. If you got the legal paperwork.
No,
it's right up the road, 45 minutes.
It says open carry is legal in Delaware for anyone that is over 18 who can legally fire.
So eventually one day they come to Maryland. It's all around us.
A sister said on The View, whether it was The View or The Talk or whatever female TV show, she said that they won't change gun law until black people start buying more.
Oh yeah, what was I saying that?
So she caught a lot of flack.
We did.
I've been talking about this all week. She
That's
caught
real.
a lot of flack. It is a 100% true. Every time black people catch on to the business of a law, they change the law. I have no doubt in my mind that if we intentionally bought, let me tell you something, if we intentionally bought guns and the murder rate didn't rise and the gun sales to blacks rose, they would be in a conundrum that they would say, we're going to change something. We're going to have to change the law.
Absolutely.
National security calls for us to know why they're doing what they're doing. But I don't know who they're going to get in touch with. To get back to the story, I believe it 100%. They'll change gun law if black people started buying guns intentionally. I think it's a fact that white people have to believe us on.
It's funny that how black people is the most hated, most important, the most despised, the most relevant, the most celebrated person on the earth. If you think about it, because everything that we do is either going to affect the world, it's going to affect us, it's going to affect how people live, because you got to tip it. You can't say certain things because now they're saying certain things, but you're going to treat us like shit. But then they want to know what we're doing out here in the world. Mm-hmm. They want to know what, if it's 3 or 4 of us standing together conversate, they want to know what we're talking about. Exactly. But if we're not saying anything, we stand in our place. They want us to shut up and dribble. Everything, they care about us so much that they don't care about us. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. They care about us, but for real, they care about us so much, but they don't care about us. And it's whatever we do, like you say about the guns. It's whatever we do, they're gonna attack it. If it's something, if we go to the store right now and buy everybody black go and buy black cups right now for 10 cents. I swear to God, next week this shit gonna be $1 a piece.
You goddamn right.
Look at them crates. Crates was free behind everybody's house. Look on Amazon. Pull up a crate on Amazon right now. See how much they cost you. You got to pay for a crate. They sell crates on Amazon.
What?
And they not cheap either.
They're not $1.
You know how to pull them crates up on. Man, they went up when people started doing them channel. They were like $23, shit like that. They could have went down a little bit now, but crates was. They had all different stylish crates. They wasn't as regular ones we use at basketball goals. It's everything that we did. Everything that we do.
Crates is free. What do you mean?
Exactly. It was always free for us. We always went behind the market or I'm pulling it. Yeah, but we always went inside the market or anything like that. And then, we was always good. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Crazy.
Like, it's great. I mean, it felt good to have these kind of conversations, especially, we had a young man that's sitting up here to get his perspective on certain things, and especially when it came on law. And I think we need to do that more. We need to immigrate more, bring more people inside and have conversations with different people and get that perspective on certain things, because all 3 of us can sit up here and, tell what or how we feel.
Right.
But you guys out there, you could tell us on how y'all feel, or, you can chime in at certain times and things like that. Or if you want to be a guest in the studio, you want to come and talk and have conversation with us. And matter of fact, if you a performer, singer, an activist, if you into spoken word, if you're an artist, you have art, you have anything that you're doing positive out here in these streets. You're a squeegee boy out here, and you want to go, you take your business to the next level. If you want to talk, you try to figure out, you want to come in, and we have people that maybe help you, trying to fix your credit, or you walk you into the right directions of trying to start your own business. You want to come in and talk to us, come talk to us. We'll bring you on the show. We want to interact with the people. We can't be Streets Talk Podcast, Streets Talk Network, we can't be Sunday dinner if we ain't feeding you guys, and we can't be out here in the streets. So that's how I feel about it. So we doing everything, trying to support our own, black. They say black, brown,
all
white,
black,
green,
everything.
but everybody else supports their self, but we got to get back together and supporting us, because nobody else really going to support us. Then you have, there's ones that look like us that want to support us. They say they support us, but they have their own agenda. And we just want to look for like genuine people that's really, that's want to.
That's really about that.
Yeah, that's really about it, and they really want to support each other. You can't. You got to start with yourself. From yourself, you start with your block, you start with your neighborhood, you start with your city, you start with your county, and so on and so on and so on. But you got to start with yourself before you want to start if you're thinking about some change.
Ashe.
So.
All right. So we wrapping it up.
We're gonna wrap it on up. So we want to shout out. I want to say shout out. Thanks for these bottles of wine. This bottle of wine that I got right here from
KT Winery,
Black Men's Warehouse. I appreciate that that bottle. I want to say shout out. Okay, this players don't kiss and tell. Hey, you brought about Will Smith. What about what's his name? August, whatever. Hey, real players don't kiss and tell. That's all I'm saying. But shout out to man.
I feel like August was. Here's how I feel about that. Like, yeah, the whole kiss and tell thing, but he also felt like he was violated, I believe. And I felt like she exploited that situation. We talked about that last week.
I'm just saying, like, I just don't kiss and tell. Don't kiss and tell. You get more if you don't kiss and tell.
I really still feel I'm standing on this. Like, this is the hill that I'm just gonna live the rest of my life on. Because
it's your journey.
Altering my language and words that I speak. But yeah, I just feel like she exploited her position in his life. You know what I'm saying? And he's troubled. You know what I mean? Before he did that interview, I learned some things about him prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
So if these are the things that he's telling to the public now, and also ill.
I'm just saying.
Listen, if my children bring somebody home, you know what I'm saying?
He got the ultimate mother joke.
Listen, my children bring somebody home, you know what I mean? They're also my children.
Man,
what do I look like having any type of sexual relationship with somebody that my son considers his friend?
I wish Carl was here right now. We could start bringing that LeBron thing back up. But it's
Thank you for joining us for Sunday dinner.
Oh, we here now. I appreciate y'all here, but I'm just saying, don't get to tell y'all. Let's all jokes aside. Appreciate y'all tuning on there. Like I said, if y'all want to, be a part of our show, we're gonna wrap up a little bit. But like I said, you can hit us up on. You can holler at Sister So Dope. Go to Sister So Dope podcast. You can check out the Instagram. You can check out my man Dr. Barber. Check him out on Instagram. You want to be a part of the show? You can go to hit me up on Instagram. Streets Talk _network. Streets Talk Network at gmail.com. Send us a little link or whatever. You got some music. We got Streets Talk Radio about to start coming back on up. So we got a lot of stuff that's coming up for you out here these days. You got anything that's coming up?
Do I have anything? No, I don't have anything coming up at the moment. I do have some things that I'm working on that I just can't discuss right now, but coming soon.
So I know, we right here got you on camera, anything that you can't really like say nothing like, but I got you on camera. So when you going, I heard that you singing shit. So when you gonna put something together for us?
A little something.
When you gonna put something together for us?
It's coming, actually. It is. It's coming soon.
Because I don't think they believe you.
I haven't.
I'm just saying. They calling you out. I heard them. They looking at, man, he gone now. But they saying, they calling you out right now.
You ain't gotta believe me. All you gotta do is just stay tuned.
Yeah, that's all. Stay right here. That stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned.
Have to stay tuned. But yeah, I'm working on a project actually that I gotta put the finishing touches on. So we'll talk about that too, because I need some camera work.
Got you. I feel you. That's what's up. So I'll let y'all. This is your boy Alfie D, place to be, Streets Talk Podcast, Streets Talk Network. My man Dr. Barber gone. He's out here. So we holler at y'all. Really appreciate y'all stopping by today. Check us out again next Sunday. Each and every Sunday, Sunday's dinner. Matter of fact, I think we're going to be out on location next week. So if you want to know the location up an inbox, we're going to come out here and teach you guys. So peace out. Peace. Holler at y'all.
Peace.